Hi, my name is Ilona Szabo and I'm a graduate hydrologist at Mott MacDonald, and I'm also going to talk through my professional journey so far. So I started doing an undergraduate degree at Cambridge University studying physical geography, where I focused mainly on coastal processes and flood risk. I then went to do a 2-month internship at Mott MacDonald after I finished my undergraduate degree in the Ports and Coastal Division, where I looked mainly at environmental impact assessments and the feasibility of updating flood defences. I then went on to Newcastle University to do my postgraduate degree in hydrology and water management. And what enabled me to do this was getting a scholarship from Newcastle University for Women into Engineering. So that was really useful, especially covering the living costs. And the course mainly focused on a broad variety of things, so things like reservoir operations, channel design, surface water processes, groundwater processes, hydraulic modelling, flood risk management, and things like that. I then started as a graduate hydrologist at Mott MacDonald just over a year ago in the water resources and flooding team in Cambridge, where I've mainly focused on water resource management work. There's also been professional development since I started there, so I'm a graduate member of the Chartered Institution of Water and Environmental Management, and we have lots of help towards that chartership process. So I'm just going to talk through a typical day in the office and things that I do. So a key part of my day is around learning. So we learn a lot both through courses on the graduate scheme, but also on-the-job learning, so putting what you've learned in your studies to real-life projects and understanding the theory much better in terms of hydrology and water processes. One of the key things that we do in the water resources and flooding team is model building, so surface water modelling, groundwater modelling, flood modelling. The key modelling that I have done is on surface water modelling, so rainfall runoff models, and the building of those models has a lot of data that goes into it. So it's looking at rainfall data, potential evapotranspiration data, data on soils, data on abstractions, the geology and permeability. So it's all these different layers that go into the model that has to be built up before you can start running it. And the key part of the models is really calibrating them against observed flows to make them useful for water companies or the client that's interested in them. And that's not always easy because there are complicated processes in the catchments, or the flow data might not be of good quality. So there's problem solving there in the decisions that need to be made around how we decide to calibrate the catchments and what method we choose to use there. And in that comes a lot of data analysis. We use a lot of Python and Excel to look at the different rainfall data and PET data and all the data that's going in, and the data that's coming out and the data we're comparing it against, because essentially the data you get out of a model is only really as good as the data you put in. So we plot up the flow charts, look at runoff rates, and then determine what data is good enough. And then a key part of that also is bringing in the GIS, so delineating river catchments, looking at plotting of gauging stations and river gauges, flood extents, which all brings together the whole projects and helps conceptualize it much better. And then another key part of the day will be talks and meetings. So we have lots of meetings which involve project meetings, so meeting with your project teams and talking about what needs to be done and any issues that have arisen. Client meetings, so we'll meet with clients on a bi-weekly basis sometimes to catch them up on the progress we've done, especially on pretty big projects. And then also just team meetings to understand what else is going on in the team, because it's quite a diverse field, so a lot of people will be working on different things, and it helps to get an understanding of what projects are available and what else you could get into. So my highlights so far have been completing a project from the start to the end. So when I started over a year ago, I was put on quite a big project, and it was really useful to be able to see how that project evolved over the year and how it adapted, and to have a key role in that was really great. And then I think the next key highlight would be working on a variety of different projects with different focuses, which allowed me to draw on different aspects of my master's course, so drawing on the things I know about reservoirs and the things I know about surface and groundwater processes. And so the key projects I've worked on have been looking at rainfall runoff modelling and water resource management, so simulating long-term flow simulations to help water companies in their water resource management plans going forwards and how much water they might have available. Looking at climate change risk assessments, so under different scenarios of climate change, how water resources availability might change and how that might impact the feasibility of schemes such as new reservoirs or hydropower schemes. And also looking at groundwater impact assessments, so how increasing groundwater abstractions might impact the surface water bodies and how that might then impact the ecology of sites. And then a new project that I've started working on has been looking at droughts and what level of river flows or reservoir levels might indicate that we have an offset of a drought period and that we need to put in drought measures. So the next highlight would be the available learning opportunities, particularly being part of the graduate scheme. You'll put on courses throughout the year just for your professional development, but also the ability to join courses for your also technical development, which is also learn on the job. And then the last thing I would say is that the building relationships that we have done, the team was so welcoming and ready to help you with your professional development. And then again, with the graduate scheme, you get to meet people from different offices and different disciplines, which has been a really useful thing to be able to broaden your network and meet other people from the different parts of the company. Thank you.